Ade-John, Madam, you may now proceed to give us a summarized version of your resume, bearing in mind that we already have everything here. But if there's any other thing you want the Senate to know, you can go ahead and just use a few minutes to elaborate on them. The floor is yours.
Your Excellency, President of the Senate, Your Excellency, Deputy President of the Senate, Principal Leaders of the Senate, distinguished senators from my state, Lagos, Wasiu Eshilogun, Sonny, Lagos Central, Oluranti Adebule, Lagos West, and Tokubo Abiru, Lagos East, and all the distinguished senators. It is an absolute pleasure that I am standing before you in this hallowed chamber. I never imagined in my lifetime that I would be here standing before you. And it is my prayer that this will not be my first, or it will be my first, but it will not be my last time. Thank you. A little bit about myself. I'm a widow. I'm a mother of 2 independent daughters. I am very passionate. I'm a very passionate person, and I'm hardworking. And I believe I represent all the hardworking people, all the hardworking women, especially women in this country and Lagos. And I have been in the IT industry for over 35 years. I bring to you the skills that I have to carry out the vision of our President, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, in his desire to bring about renewed hope in this country. My career spans, as you can see, the oil and gas industry, as well as the banking and financial services, both local and international. When I mean international, I crisscross Africa, and I'm familiar with financial services in Africa. If you talk about my experiences and my skills, I want to assure you that the skills I have will help in bringing increased revenue to the country. It will help to improve fiscal and operational efficiencies. It will help in management of poverty alleviation. It will help in management of school children, the information on school children. It will help in managing our infrastructure maintenance and so many other things. Without technology, Nigeria, without technology, we'll be living in the past. We need to move forward, and we need to live in the future, or the present and the future. I know that some of the senators here are familiar with technology projects and what technology has done in their own industries. And I know that with your support, Nigeria using technology will be great. Thank you.
You are true? Yes, dismissed Senator Salimosa.
Thank you, Mr. President, sitting as chair, my distinguished colleagues and the nominee. Congratulations for being nominated. And going through your resume, I've seen that all through we've been in the IT industry. And today, digital economy is taking over from products that we export. If you look at the startups where young Nigerians were able to build some softwares, some applications which have been used, you see major companies from the United States coming to patronize them, taking them over. Now with that, a lot of direct foreign investments will be coming into our country. If for any reason you happen to find yourself in a position where you make policies in area of technology and also be the one to possibly do the implementation or supervise the implementation, how will you encourage building up hubs around the country, not just in a particular place, around the countries, like a technology village where maybe, or a startup village, where young Nigerians will be assembled and given all the necessary encouragement, funding, to be able to bring out their skills. Because that's one area that we need to build on. You know very much about the NFTs and the packages that AI today is coming, which is a big challenge, especially to the innovation and retail industry. How can we take advantage of those areas too in our own digital sector to boost our economy? That's my 2 questions. Thank you.
The Chief Whip of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the nominee, Lola, being a gender-sensitive nominee, and also to me, the most qualified of the female that came before us. You are 64, you are older than me by 2 months, and I believe that even your appearance corporately, and as a grandmother, as a widow. And I read your CV, I'm impressed. And therefore, I want to ask you this question. One of the major problems you hear in this country in the technology sector related to finance is the case of Yahoo. And all this transaction of Yahoo is through the banking system. It's not that people collect directly. This should be a matter of concern because mothers, widows, retirees lose their money to these young people who are desperate to make money, more especially because they are not employed. So what do you think you can bring to the table to address this serious challenge we have in the country?
Distinguished Senator Abiru.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, sitting as the chair, and my distinguished colleagues. My name is Senator Ade-John Abiru, and I represent Lagos East. First, I would like to congratulate Madam Nominee, but I also like to admit that the nominee is somebody that is well known to me for over 30 years, and you can tell by looking at her CV that she has crisscrossed the banking industry, and I'm a product of that industry as well. But her expertise in the banking industry is more in the area of technology, and I can confirm that she had played prominent roles in business transformation and strategy for most of the banks that we have in Nigeria, particularly in the early 90s when we had when we were in the era of the new age banks. I believe very strongly, given the accomplishment that she's made in the industry, I believe very strongly that she's going to bring her expertise to bear in the current administration of our president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, particularly in the area of the reforms that are ongoing. And I make bold to say that she will be very useful in the area of business process engineering that is required in most of our ministries today, and the operational efficiency that we need to bring about in terms of improving our revenues and reducing the cost of operational cost of the country. I therefore, on behalf of the Lagos caucus, will appeal to my colleagues to support our nomination. I so submit, Mr. President, and my distinguished colleagues. Thank you very much.
The minority leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, our dear nominee, my name is Simon Mwatkon. I'm from Plateau State and I represent Plateau North. Mr. President, sir, our dear nominee, my question is, from your resume, I noticed that you have done well in the banking and financial industry. And my question is on this issue of shares, banking shares and other company shares. I've noticed a trend in this country that you see a company that is not doing well, and perhaps at a point in time, their shares is just maybe 100 naira. And they will go to the capital market and negotiate and raise the quality of their shares perhaps to 300 or 400 naira, and then go to the capital market and advertise for people to come and buy shares. And at that time, the shareholding will be 300 naira. But after people have gone and they buy shares, the thing will crumble back to 100 naira or even less. You know, and the gullible public would have been robbed of their money, and nobody will do something to help the people. There are also times, you know, a company will crumble and there's no security for the shareholders. Their money will be lost. I have lost quite a number of money in many banks and also companies. You know, there's no protection for the shareholders. Once the company goes bankrupt, the shareholders would have lost their money. With your knowledge of the banking and the financial industry, what do you think, assuming you are confirmed or screened and confirmed as a minister, what will you do to help poor Nigerians that would have invested their monies in banks or in some companies by buying shares, and the companies perhaps would have come through fraudulent means to advertise those shares, and nothing is done to protect them? Thank you.
Distinguished Senator Garba.
Thank you very much, the Senate President sitting in as chair. My name is Garba Musa Maidoki, representing Kebbi South Senatorial District. Lady nominee, I congratulate you, and I congratulate the President for giving females opportunities in his government. We pray, we also agree what men can do, women can do better. So we want to give you the privilege of going to do better in the cabinet. But my concern today is about the banking charges. Somebody, a constituent of mine, sent me a text. You put 100,000 naira in your bank account. In 3 months, you didn't do anything. The charges are taking place. Your money now reduced to about 900,000. For not, you have not transacted any business. Then, then a company that is charging markup for selling of product, maybe 5 naira, or 3 naira, or 1 naira. If transfer are made to pay him, the bank deduct 5 naira or 3 naira. He's not making any money. Please. Yes, sir.
If you put 100,000 in your bank, 3 months later, you come back and say 900,000. Is that, shouldn't you praise the bank?
I wanted to say 90,000, Your Excellency. 90,000. And Lady Nominee, the financial sector is milking Nigerians. Today, your deposit is not secured. You cannot take your money. If you have a domiciliary account, you cannot take your money. You take hard currency and deposit into the bank, and you want to withdraw it, the bank says there is no money because of regulations or issues like that. Generally, let me not bore it. You understand what the problems are. Please, how can you bring SECO? We want to encourage banking to every rural community. Some of them are just receiving 10,000. And if the bank continue making these charges, how can rural banking be encouraged? Thank you very much, Senate President.
Dismissed Senator Ned Mogu.
Thank you, Mr. President. And my distinguished colleagues. My question is a very simple one. As an expert in the banking sector, I've always been concerned about interest rates in Nigeria. The charges, even the banking deposits interest rates, I understand to be about 5 to 6%, but the lending rate is about maybe 20 to 23%. I've always wondered why the government is not able to peg interest rates at a level that is possible for consumers in Nigeria to borrow money. After all, when you go to other nations, you will see that most of the lending rates is between 1 to 5%. And so everybody can prosper, everybody can borrow to buy whatever they want to buy, whether it's for mortgages or for vehicles or whatever. But the consumers in Nigeria are left to the whims and caprices of the banks. The banks make huge profits at the end of the day. Is there no possibility that a government cannot ensure that banking interest rates are maintained to a various minimum for the interest of consumers? Thank you, Mr. President.
The nominee, please let us hear you answer those few questions, and then others will still have the opportunity to ask.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency. In response to the distinguished senator's questions on bank charges and interest rates, I'll take those two together. These are determined by central bank. Central bank also takes directives from the presidency and the economy at large. It is determined by the state of these rates are determined by what is currently happening in the country. So if the economy is buoyant, you have better interest rates. If the economy is not buoyant, then the interest rates will be high. So yes, the government will continue to work with central bank and the finance ministry to ensure that these rates are acceptable or they can be accommodated by the general public. It's not technology that determines these rates. It's the economy, the financial the financial system that determines that. Okay. For protection, fraud protection in banks, shareholders, yes, we've all experienced some form of fraud or the other, even personally. Fraud, even though you have automated systems, fraud is perpetrated by individuals, people. And in our country, we also need to ensure that we do not encourage fraudulent people. When we see that people yesterday are living a simple life and tomorrow they're living an expensive life, we need to ask the right questions. Where did they get the money from? And when we know that they didn't make the money from legitimate means, we also have a responsibility to do the right thing, ask the right thing, because we'll be encouraging it. And with technology, if we have the right kind of database, we will be able to track these people. We have identity management in different buckets. We have them we have BVN, NIN, all these different identity systems. If we had all of them together, where we consolidate them with the police, we consolidate them with all the various agencies, you find that we'll be able to track and monitor these fraudulent people better, and it will reduce. But everywhere in the world we have them. It is just that they have better systems, more efficient and automated systems where you can trace them. And I am sure that we are going to pay in this country a lot more attention, or we are going to invest in in technology to ensure that we consolidate our data. From the very first comment and observation from the distinguished senator, he talked about our youth tech hubs, AI to increase revenue. It's already happening. It's already happening. We have tech hubs in some states, and it's being rolled out. In fact, the truth is that we can't even run fast enough. Our youth are embracing technology a lot faster than we of our own generation. And Mr. President has said that the youth own this country. And so it's going to happen I'm in fact one of the nominees that is going to come and who's come to stand before you will also talk more about his own involvement in this industry. But for AI, virtual reality, these are all the tools that we need today. And I didn't want to be sarcastic, but the truth is that if we had AI now, you probably wouldn't have to sit here all day because you'll be using them from, wherever you are. So, yes, it's going to happen.
Distinguished Senator Abiru, and you want to say something? Okay, because I don't want to marginalize the Southwest. Distinguished Senator Wasu.
Thank you, the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, distinguished colleagues. I rise today to first and foremost admit that Lola Ade-John voted for me. She is from my constituency, and she is a proper and a fit person to occupy the ministerial position in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I still remain Wasiu Sonny Eshinlokun. I want to say that our nomination has come as a beacon of hope for our women and also other genders alike. His unwavering commitment has been noted, and we love all of this. We believe that she will be a paragon of success. She will break barriers and one of those who add value. As you all know, the digital economy, the blue economy are what we will enjoy in the next few decades. It is my belief that with Madam Lola Ade-John, the deployment of IT will be for positive use and it will enhance our economy. I do not want to throw her under the bus and say, please continue to ask questions. Please allow my people go. Thank you very much.
My distinguished brother, Cyril.
The Senate President sitting this afternoon as chair, distinguished colleagues, very few of us are familiar with the nominee before you. And I'm also shocked when you call her Madam Lola Ade-John, because the woman standing before you likes to be called Lola. My paths crossed with Lola Ade-John as a banker in 1998, Access Bank, to be very specific. I was a banker. And this woman standing before me was my boss. I wasn't working under her. This woman standing before Nigerians in the entire banking industry, 98% of heads of IT are men. She's one of the few in Nigeria that heads IT department in banks. You can see her CV from Shell to Magnum Trust to Access Bank. That was where I met her. This afternoon when I saw her, I was shocked. It is just for all of us. Let me tell you, it is, yes, positive shock. It is just for all of us to remember one thing in life, that our paths can still cross in the future. And whatever you do today, you are going to repeat tomorrow. Lola Ade-John was a nice AGM when we were in Access Bank. She was a very good person. She never discriminates. She respects everybody. I can continue. Mr. President, she is an uncommon lady. a technology guru. I am also shocked when a lot of us ask questions. In the banking industry, Lola is not a front office manager. She was a back office. IT is one of the departments that is back office. The issue of interest rate, investment or something are meant for front office, like Tokumbo Abiru, like myself. We were commercial bankers. We could answer you better. But these are the people that secure your funds in the bank to ensure that there is no fraud. Let Lola breathe. Senate President, sir, distinguished colleagues, we need a Lola in this government. We need a Lola. Lola left UI as a second-class hopper in real department that a lot of us will find difficult to pass through. Computer science. Lola is brilliant. Lola is good. Let Lola go. Let Lola breathe. Thank you.
Distinguished colleagues and distinguished nominee, your subordinate, your staff, has just said, let Lola go. You need to know that if we let you go, that means you are not going to be a minister. So it's important that we screen you for the president instead of just telling you to go back home. I think that's our job here. So, distinguished Senator Ade-John, as a gender-friendly Senate, we should give you an opportunity to ask a question.
Well, the Senate President, distinguished colleagues, I am Idiat Oluroti Adebule. I represent the good people of Lagos West. And I'm happy to see Mrs. Lola standing before us. Well done, my sister. Congratulations on your nomination as the Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Well, as a technology solution expert of many years of experience, decades of experience, I want to advise that by the grace of God, if you're confirmed, rather, I would advise that please pay special attention to our civil service. We need technology to drive the civil service for effectiveness. And that will be something that I would be so glad to see you doing by the grace of God. We cannot all be seated here, assuming that all is well out there. A lot still needs to be corrected. And that is why Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has nominated you as one of the ministers of the Federal Republic. Therefore, a lot rests on your shoulder, and the good Lord will guide you. Thank you. And on that note, Your Excellency, permit me, may I crave your indulgence to allow Lola Ade-John to take her leave of the Senate. Thank you.
Distinguished colleagues, the last three speakers did not really ask any question. So I don't think there's any question before Lola. Is it the view of the Senate that Lola be allowed to take a bow and take leave of the Senate? Yes. Those who are supposed to say aye. Those who are against say nay. The ayes have it. The nominee may now take leave of the Senate.